In 2005, I got my very first Pokemon game, Pokemon Ruby. I had little idea about the type chart, natures, or any real strategy outside of using the most powerful move in my arsenal. My Trico and I stumbled through the Hoenn region, and over the course of a few months, we eventually made it to the Pokemon League. Naturally, I struggled, but after many attempts and a ton of healing items, I was finally able to beat Drake, the final member of the Elite Four. I still clearly remember how ecstatic I was for those few minutes on an otherwise slow Sunday afternoon. I'd finally beaten the game, but then I met him, Steven, the champion. I was blindsided and quickly crushed. His team of steel Pokemon were just too tough for a young Keegan. Soon after, I'd move on to other games like Emerald and Fire Red, followed by Diamond the next year, but it recently dawned on me that I'd never beaten Steven. So, more than 15 years later, I decided to once again play through Pokemon Ruby, but with hardcore rules. This is my quest to finally beat Steven. I picked Trico as it was also my starter back in 2005. Trico and I quickly breezed through the early routes, as well as our first battle with May. Once I got Pokeballs, I was able to add a few members to the team, including Zigzagoon, Seedot, Poochyena, Talo, and Slakoth. In very little time, I'd made it to Rustboro City. After a little bit of grinding to the level cap, it was time to take on the first gym. This gym specialises in rock-type Pokemon, so my strategy was merely to rely on Trico's type advantage to get me through. I quickly handled Geodude with a 4 times effective Absorb before Roxanne sent out a race, Nosepass. It's a bulky Pokemon that hits quite hard, however the recovery from Absorb allows me to outlast Nosepass. With Roxanne defeated, I've earned my first badge. Also, Trico evolved into Grovyle thanks to the EXP that I earned in the gym. Not bad. East of Rustboro, I reached Route 116 and catch a Nincada here. After easily stopping Team Magma, Mr. Briney grants us passage to Dupes Town on his boat. Quick side note, as a kid, I got stuck in this part of the game for weeks because I skipped too fast through the text and had no idea where to go. I also didn't have internet access, so I was totally lost. Anyway, into the Granite Cave. I caught a Makuhita here. It's a nice encounter as Makuhita hits hard while also having some bulk. After training my team, it was time for the next gym. Brawler uses fighting types, so my only real counter to his team is Talo. This fight can be a breeze with a Beautifly or Dustox, however, by chance I didn't get a Wurmple in my early encounters, so I'll need to make do with what I've got. Talo was able to drain Brawly's potions and take much down. However, loses a large chunk of health in the process. His Makuhita is next. I know there's a good chance that I lose Talo here, however, a really lucky critical hit allows me to take it down in one shot. Fortune smiles upon me, and I've now got 2 badges. I delivered Steven a letter and picked up an old fishing rod. Zigzagoon's pickup ability yielded me an Ultra Ball, which I quickly used to catch a Magikarp that I fished up on Route 107. Unfortunately, this Magikarp has a bold nature, which reduces its attack. However, it can still be a powerful Pokemon once it evolves. In Dupes Town, I'm also able to catch a Tentacle. This encounter is guaranteed as it's the only new Pokemon that I can fish up here. Its nature is relaxed, which isn't ideal, but it's still manageable. Our next stop is Slateport City. On the beach, I found some soft sand and Poochyena evolved into Mightyena. I caught an Electrike on Route 110 and disposed of Team Magma before delivering a package to Captain Stern. My run has had 0 deaths so far, however, my next fight is a notoriously difficult one against May. I made sure to prepare by leveling my team beforehand. This saw Talo evolve into Swellow, Zigzagoon into Lanoon, and Magikarp into Gyarados. I led with Grovyle, who was able to take Welmer down with 3 Absorbs. Hoenn is next, however, I pivoted into Gyarados, which lowered its attack with Intimidate. I then switched into my Burn Swellow, which gets a huge attack boost thanks to its Guts ability. A wing attack is enough to finish Hoenn, and Shroomish suffers the same fate soon after. In the end, that fight wasn't so bad. I'm now in Moorville City, the location of the 3rd gym. The leader uses electric Pokemon, and I honestly don't have much of an answer for him. I switched my team up a little as I didn't want to bring Swellow or Gyarados to this gym, so I subbed in Shedinja and Electrike. I led with Shedinja against Watson as Magnemite can't get past Wonder Guard. Or so I thought. I didn't realise that Shedinja could be hit by Supersonic. Luckily, I didn't hit myself in confusion, however this forced me to switch. Lanoon was able to take down Magnemite and Grovyle defeated Voltorb. this only left Watson's Magneton, which hits like a truck. I paralysed it with Electrike, and was able to lower its defense a few stages with Leer. This paved the way for Makuhita to finish the job with a Fake Out and Arm Thrust. The battle was scrappy, but I was able to get my third badge. On Route 117, I caught a Roselia, and then headed north of Morville onto Route 111. I avoided any encounters here, as I want to grab something from the desert later on. On Route 112, I caught a Numel, and in the Fiery Path, I caught a Slugma. Further north, Makuhita evolved into Hariyama, which gives it a nice stat boost. The ashy grass of Route 113 presents an opportunity for a rare encounter with a Skarmory, but I got a Spinder. Yay! I quickly race through Falabor Town and pick up the Digtiem before heading south through Route 114 and the Meteor Falls. My encounters here were a Solrock and a Surskit. Surskit is a 1% chance to appear, however I was honestly hoping for a Swablu. Oh well. A short cable car ride brings me to Mount Chimney for a showdown with Maxi, the boss of Team Magma. This fight isn't too difficult as Hariyama handles Mightyena, Electrike shocks Golbat, and Gyarados eventually removes Camerupt. I then head down the mountain and through the jagged pass where I'm able to catch a Machop. The trail ends at the bottom of the mountain, bringing me to Laveridge Town. I grab a Pokemon egg, and the only thing left to do here is take on the gym. The leader, Flannery, uses Fire-type Pokemon. To prepare, I taught Dig to Lanoon and included both Numel and Solrock in my team. I led with Numel, who took down both Slugmas with Magnitude. Torkoal was next, however, much to my surprise, a single sun-boosted Overheat was able to wipe my poor Numel. Our first death. Sorry, Numel. 2 rock throws from Solrock are enough to finish the job, giving me the 4th badge. My new goggles grant me access to the desert portion of Route 111. While here, I was able to catch a Trapinch, which is the encounter that I was hoping for. It's now time to return to Petalburg, where our next gym challenge awaits. The leader is our father and uses normal type Pokemon. I've added Machop and Tentacle to the team, both of which evolved during my preparation. This fight can be made much easier with Protect. However, as I didn't get either a Wingull or Dustox encounter, I'll have to rely on another approach. Some dig shenanigans on the first slacking drained a Hyper Potion. I then pivoted into Gyarados and Mightyena to let off 3 Intimidates before Hariyama took slacking down with 2 Vital Throws. Machoke is then able to remove Vigoroth with a super effective Revenge, and the final slacking comes out and, similar to the first one, I cycle Intimidate a few times before finishing it off with Hariyama. I've now got my 5th badge, and Wally's parents gift us the Surf HM, opening up the region quite a bit. After evolving Electrike and grabbing the Thunderbolt TM, I then head east of Morville where I catch a Pelipper. Proceeding through the next route, I eventually reach the Weather Institute. Team Magma are here, however, Tentacruel is easily able to solo their Pokemon. I'd used Repels through this route as I was saving my encounter for Feebas. I fished for about 30 minutes and got a ton of speed EVs on Manectric. Eventually, I was able to find and catch a Feebas, however, was extremely disappointed as it had an adamant nature. What a shame. May wants a rematch, however, her team is no match for mine, and I quickly take her down with little trouble. I've finally reached Four Tree City, the location of the Flying type gym. Admittedly, Winona's team went down very quickly to Manectric's Thunderbolt. However, it could have been a different story if I hadn't gotten a lucky critical hit against Altaria. Regardless, I now have 6 badges. The next portion of the game involves some very forgettable Team Magma related tasks. This didn't really pose a challenge, so to save some time, I won't go over it. During this time, however, I caught a Duskull, Wailmer, Oddish, and Metatite. Now in Lilycove City, I had one final battle with May. Manectric cleared her first 3 Pokemon, with Tentacruel finishing off Shroomish. I then headed east of Lilycove and through Route 124 on my way to Moss Deep City. I grabbed the Dive HM here, as well as the Super Rod, which I immediately used to catch a Sharpedo. It's now time for the next gym, and while preparing, Grovyle evolved into Sceptile. The leaders, Tate and Liza, use Psychic-type Pokemon. Fortunately, this battle is much easier than the Emerald counterpart, as they only have 2 Pokemon in this version. As both of their Pokemon are weak to water, I use Sharpedo and Tentacruel. This is the easiest fight yet, as both of their Pokemon fall to a few Surfs. It's an underwhelming battle, but it gives me a 7th badge. It's low tide in the Shoal Cave, so a few repels allow me to venture deep into the cave where I'll grab a Nevermelt Ice and catch a Spheal. With Dive, I can now pursue Team Magma into the Seafloor Cavern. I catch a Zubat here, clean up some grunts, and find the highly valuable Earthquake TM before coming face to face with Maxi for a final showdown. Tentacruel handles Mighty Hyena and Camerupt, before Gyarados finishes Maxi off by removing his Golbat. With Groudon awakened, we now head to Sootopolis City to stop the intense sun rays. Luckily, Groudon doesn't Fire Blast my Sceptile, and I'm able to take it down with 2 Leaf Blades. Our 8th and final gym challenge now awaits. Wallace uses some strong water Pokemon, however it's a reasonably good matchup for us. He leads Luvdisc, which goes down to a single Leaf Blade. I then switch into Manectric, who handles Celio with a Thunderbolt. Roselia Giga Drains Whiscash for the kill and recovers all of its health, however falls just after to an Ice Beam from Milotic. I then sent Manectric out, who was able to sweep his last 2 Pokemon with Thunderbolt. With that, the last badge is ours, and I'm now bound for the Pokemon League. My team is pretty balanced, so I'm able to make my way through Victory Road without much trouble. Wally has a far improved team since our last encounter, but some smart switching and a little bit of luck allows me to take him down. After taking some time to prepare, I was now ready to face the Elite Four. I decided to bring Sceptile, Hariyama, Sharpedo, Tentacruel, Walrein, and Flygon. Sydney's first. I lead with Sceptile, who eats and Intimidate, before switching into Hariyama, who removes Mighty Hyena with a Vital Throw. Sydney uses multiple moves that lower my accuracy and cause confusion. However, Vital Throw can't miss, and my Person Berry cures confusion, so I'm easily able to sweep his team. Phoebe, the Ghost-type user, is next. I lead with Sharpedo, who's holding the black glasses, and quickly dispose of her first Dusclops with Crunch. Sableye goes down with 3 Surfs, and her 2 Banette each go down with a single Crunch. The final Dusclops survives a Crunch, so I switch into Flygon, who finishes her off with an Earthquake. Next is Glacier, an Ice-type user. I lead with Hariyama against her Glalie and take it out in a single Vital Throw, although it does set up Hail. Her 2 Celio and second Glalie also fall at the hands of my bulky Hariyama. I had a close call, as a crit from the second Glalie put me in Hail range, however the weather cleared just in time. Her Walrein is next, and this thing is dangerous. I decided to try and stall it out with Tentacruel, but it landed a Sheer Cold. That's annoying. The toxic damage has it in range of a Leaf Blade though, so I can quickly clean up Walrein, but losing Tentacruel is a huge blow. The final Elite Four member is Drake. He haunted me many years ago, but now the tables have turned. I lead with Sharpedo, and this is the easiest fight yet. His whole team is weak to Ice, and as I outspeed, Sharpedo crushes him in 5 turns with Ice Beam. It's incredibly free. With that, there's only one battle left, and it's against the trainer that I could just never beat all those years ago. It's time to take on Steven. He leads with a Skarmory, so I send out Flygon. I get badly poisoned, however manage to take it down in 2 hits. Aggron is next, but its 4 times weakness to ground sees it quickly fall to an Earthquake from Flygon. Next is Metagross. I'm able to outspeed and hit it with an Earthquake, however I know that Flygon is about to fall. But Metagross missed Meteor Mash, which bought me another turn, allowing me to take it down. Flygon soon falls to Claydol, but it's a perfect start. Sharpedo was able to clean up Claydol in 1 shot, and I switch into Sceptile to Brick Break through Cradily and remove Reflect. I then switch into Walrein, who goes down but sets up Rain in the process. This clears a path for Sharpedo to take down Steven's last 2 Pokemon with some boosted Surfs. And there it was. Steven had been defeated. Beneath the surface, I think this story is really about growth. The Keegan of 2005 couldn't beat Pokemon Ruby, and would have thought that beating it with hardcore rules was impossible. But now, more than 15 years later, the lessons I learned and experiences I've gained have made it not only possible, but actually quite easy. Looking at it from this perspective, this victory is actually quite special to me, even if it wasn't the most challenging. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and consider subscribing, as it really helps me out and shows me that you enjoyed the content. If you have any feedback or suggestions for future videos, let me know in the comments below. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.